in.
J.D. Vance?
I'm going to get my J.D. Vance question in. To your point and to Rachel's point, he, has a lot of opinions about childless women like myself or divorced people like yourself. Do you think, well, I mean, my point is here.
But at least it was said in a friendly manner.
My point is, do you think the Republican Party is getting a little bit too judgy about people's lives when you think about abortion or when you think about what J.D. Vance is saying?
I don't think, look, I think that the Democrat Party is really the one that has the problem. I think they're radical on abortion because they're allowing abortion in the 9th month. They're allowing the death.
I think it's
they're
about
allowing
freedom,
the death of a baby after the baby is born, based on the governor of Virginia. Based on the governor of Virginia, they're allowing the death of the baby after it's born. They're allowing abortions in the 8th and 9th month.
Well, Democrats have denied.
I think they're right. And I think the Republican Party is actually much less. I think I've made them much less radical, perhaps. But the Republican Party, what we're doing is bringing it back to the states where everybody wanted it. Democrats, Republicans, liberals, conservatives, everybody wanted abortion brought back. They didn't want Roe v. Wade in the federal government. They wanted it, everybody.
But the majority of Americans oppose Roe v. Wade being overturned.
They don't know about this. Right now, they're voting. It brought it back to the states. Now, I happen to believe in the 3 exceptions. Ronald Reagan believed with rape, incest, life of the mother. I do. I think most people do. I think most Republicans do also. But if you take a look, right now they're doing, it's an amazing thing, out of the federal government, it's in states, and people are voting. And I will say, Ohio is, let's call it a more liberal version, has been approved. Kansas, the same thing, a little bit surprising to a lot of people. But the people are now voting. And it's taking this issue that's been going on for 52 years and has torn our country apart, and it's giving it to the people to vote on. And they're voting. And many states have already voted. Others are in the process of voting. And it's bringing it back to the people and a vote of the people. And it's not at all radical. And again, you have to follow your heart. I happen to believe in the 3 exceptions. Most people believe in the 3 exceptions. Most Republicans believe in the exceptions. But they don't want to see an abortion in the 9th month or the 8th month. Almost everybody agrees to that. And they certainly don't want to see, in the case of the governor of Virginia, the former governor, I might add, who said, we set the baby aside and then we decide what to do. Meaning, what do? We execute the baby. That's a radical, horrible position. And some people want that. I don't want it. Most people don't.
Thank you. Can I just pivot really quickly to another question?
That Sonia Massey thing was at about 13 minutes. Yep. Yeah. But to speak about on the abortion conversation that they were just having. How do you feel about his stance on abortion after listening to him?
It's not horrible, but it's also not true.
What do you mean?
Like all the shit that he's saying about these 8th and 9th month abortions, and the cases of you can abort a child after they were born. First of all, doesn't even make any fucking sense.
That's called murder. That shit sound crazy. That shit sound crazy to me. The post birth abortions, that's wild. It sounds crazy. This distinct, make that distinct. It sounds crazy. 8th and 9th month abortions are wild, but they exist, fam. That's a thing. It's a thing. And what
in what situations? Again, only extreme cases of the mother's life being in danger.
Right. Well, here's the thing, though. The carve outs are there that say, well, in the terms of the mother's health and things of that nature, and everybody's agreeing on those. So when people say things like, well, let's put the ban in, and then let's have these particular carve outs, and other people are fighting back and saying no ban, no carve outs, period. No, let's just have carte blanche. Then that they're effectively fighting for those 8th and 9th month abortions. Now,
No, they're
if you
not. And it's a
well, what are they
stupid
doing then if you can't?
comparison.
Well, if not a comparison, I'm talking about an actual negotiation.
Compilation.
I'm talking about an actual negotiation that could be put forth on at a federal level right now that says, "Hey, oh look, we okay with abortions in terms of the mother's life, incest, rape. Other than that, no abortions." So if we can get to those
Nah.
three things, and then a motherfucker could come back with some shit they want to carve out and say, whoa, 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 whoa. How about we do abortions up until the seventh month, but after the seventh month, all the shit you said, no abortions for nobody after that. Then that's a thing, and then somebody else can come back and say, well, no, but how about this, that, and the third? You have to figure out how comfortable you are with what stage of a fetus you're comfortable with terminating. And hey, look, we keep trying to make it an individual case by case, or individual, not case by case, but an um individual's decision. But that's not how we adjudicate most things in our country. You can't you can't drink on a case by case basis. You can't sit there and marry an individual or actually engage in sex with an individual on a case by case basis. No, we set an actual guideline in place for a lot of things that can be morally ambiguous, ambiguous in our society, just to say, well, this is how most people are generally going to be
All
uh
right.
accepting
All
this.
right. But there was, there are, there are limitations. Before it, once with Roe v. Wade, when it was active, motherfuckers wasn't just running around doing abortions at 7 months. For the most part, abortions went up to probably 12 weeks, which is roughly 3 months. And after that, it would be mainly life of the mother. So somewhere around 12, 13, 14 weeks. It wasn't just, yo, no matter how long you're pregnant, you can get rid of this shit. That has never been a case. And nobody's advocating for that. Nobody's calling for that. Like, and to let motherfuckers, you had this whole exact same damn discussion about DEI and how motherfuckers are describing it to make it to make it seem like it's bad.
Hey
The
yo,
exact same thing is that's the exact same shit that they're doing with abortion. First of all, let's get to all the bullshit. First, abortions aren't mandatory. So saying that this is just the extermination of a group of people, not fucking true because not nan motherfucker has had an. Well, I'm not gonna say not nan motherfuckers has had one, but for the most part, abortions are generally done by people who want to get abortions. People who don't want to get abortions, guess what? The motherfuckers don't get abortions. It's not like it's there's like if abortions are legal or legalized, there's not gonna be no law to saying, hey, every person has to have at least one abortion in their life. No, if you choose to get one, you choose to get one. It's not pro-life, anti-life. No, it's pro-life, pro-choice, and that choice is to have the abortion, to not have abortion. If you do want to have abortion, you got to do this shit real, real soon. Like, no, it's not. You can wait until you 7 months to decide. Yep, this is not gonna be a good look for me. Let me go and get rid of this. No, they have limitations, rules intact. So you can't argue that there needs to be rules. We could do it in this case, this case, this case. But besides that, no, no, there are rules in place for it.
what should those rules be?
Like no abortions after 14 weeks.
Okay, it sounds reasonable.
That's what the fucking law was.
That's what it was.
Yeah. It ain't you can just get an abortion whenever the fuck you feel like it. That's the that's the decision that they overturned.
Hey, look, make it a state by state thing. If you want it to be a federal thing, then maybe put some people in office that will codify the the new Roe v. Wade, because you got to do something else. Um, well, but vote. some people in office that will codify that to make it an actual thing. And um, the best way you can go about doing that is probably getting the individuals who would, just like you stated here, reasonable limitations to what we deem acceptable abortions. Not all abortions anytime you want. There's some there's some case scenarios in which you won't be able to receive one, as stated by you just now. And I'm
That's
okay
how it's
with that.
always been.
Hey, yo, look. Okay, cool. You say so. Some people said it wasn't. And
Those
then some
people are
people,
called
hey,
fucking
hey, look,
liars.
hey, look, call them whatever you want to call them, fam. Some people said it wasn't. Some people actually wanted to go further than what existed. Some people said, I don't want abortions, period. And then they voted for people who also said, you know what, I'm with you. Fuck it. You don't want abortions, I don't want abortions neither. And then they put a person in place that put people in place that voted against that shit when the time came. What has to happen is other individuals who claim to fight for a cause need to vote people into office that also believe and fight for that cause, and that will also put people into place that will
Yeah, my bad.
ensure that said thing happens as it should. But time and time again, people put Democrats in office to codify this Roe v. Wade thing to make sure it's no longer vulnerable and these rights are solidified. Time and time again, they kicked that can down the road until those chickens came home to fucking roost.
Yeah, that's fucking stupid. I
Hey, yo,
agree.
look. Hey, yo, look. Don't be mad at the motherfucker for doing the thing they told you they was gonna do. Also, what I am saying is, hey, yo, look, you seem to be on the side of reasonable abortion reform. And I can't argue against that. I'm with that too. We can sit here and go back and forth on what when we consider a life of life. 14 weeks is what you seem to be on board with. I may be a little bit earlier than 14 weeks. I think we splitting. I think we are at a point now where we can negotiate it and get something down and actually have a baseline for our country to abide by. I think that's reasonable.
Hmm.